LeBron's offensive. The hardest thing to figure out about LeBron James at his peak might just be when exactly he peaked. LeBron hit another gear in the 2009 season, winning his first MVP and authoring one of the most incredible statistical profiles in NBA history. At 24, he had the perfect blend of youthful speed and explosive power. And in his second tour of Northeast Ohio, LeBron's offensive mastery produced incredible playoff moments. And those seasons are great choices, but during those championship seasons in South Beach, his ability to do almost everything might have taken him to heights that no one has ever reached.
You are watching what greatness is all about.
Where's Larry Bird in all this?
Has it blocked by Elijah Wan? Michael Jordan saves the day.
This series tackles one question: who was the best at his best? We start at the ABA merger and go through the best multi-year stretches, examining the legends who provided the most on-court impact. These are the greatest peaks.
For me, they could be compared to Michael, Magic, Kobe, all the ones that's making so success in the league. It's great, and I'm going to just keep working hard, and someday it could be another one that could be compared to me.
From a distance, LeBron just looked bigger and stronger than other players, but zoom in and there's way more going on. During those Miami years, his game was built around getting to the rim, and he approached the basket in just about every way imaginable. He drops his shoulder, goes off his left foot, and finishes southpaw here. But on this one, he dips the shoulder and jumps off 2 feet to float one in from short range. Here's another variant. He has a runway but springs into a jump stop, and fluid, adaptable athleticism was key to LeBron's finishing prowess. Of course, his size was a huge factor too, crossing back to the left, and notice how quickly the ball gets to about 10 feet so he can release it away from those long Tim Duncan arms. LeBron's mass was arguably more important than his length, able to plow through contact from defenders. Jimmy Butler gives LeBron a pretty healthy push here, and unlike lankier penetrators, it barely derailed the L train, and he still has the balance to explode for the stuff. LeBron was probably the best ever at absorbing blows in midair while still powering up a good shot, which requires incredible body awareness and reactivity. These reactions are automatic, subconscious movements. This contact blunts his vertical leap, so he adjusts by pulling the ball back and arching it over the defender. This is unprecedented neurological wiring in such a giant explosive body. Here, he has the instinct to dip his shoulder in front of the defender, who bounces off LeBron as he organically twists into a layup. Some of this is just physics. A 275-pound body moving at high speeds packs quite a punch. Paul George goes flying here, and again LeBron adjusts off his right leg and finishes with the left hand. And yes, it was reported that James weighed in at 270-something pounds during these seasons, slightly heavier than the 250 to 260 he supposedly played at in Cleveland a few years prior, and that zapped some of his acceleration. In 2009, his first step was quicker, and his combination of speed and power were at video game levels. If we're submitting entries into the all-time highlight competition, this first MVP year is the version to nominate. But that additional explosiveness was offset by a weaker outside shot, a game that wasn't quite as refined, and somewhat paradoxically, he wasn't a definitively better finisher on his drives back then. This is because he developed so many ways to finish at the cup, from contorting reverses to little spin moves that finished with a soft push shot. LeBron was a master of tempo, of controlling speeds. Take this drive into Duncan, where slowing down is the key to creating space for a gentle finish. Despite weighing more than Karl Malone, his agility and explosiveness were still guard-like, and with a screen he was surgical, attacking the position of the second defender. He leans the wrong way here, so LeBron rejects the screen and explodes in a straight line. Yet on this one, he feels the defender too far left, so he builds momentum going around the pick, and then he's an unstoppable freight train, and that is just bionic strength and dexterity that would make Isaac Asimov proud. Oh yeah. There were more subtle tricks too. He knows Duncan waits to commit to a shot, so he up-fakes on an explosive jump stop before stepping through for the layup. All of this made LeBron one of the best finishers ever. Among qualifying players, he has the highest field goal percentage season at the rim this century, and since he maintained comparable efficiencies in the playoffs, there's a great argument these are the best finishing seasons ever. These superpowers were only amplified in transition, where he could build ahead of steam and attack into open space. He just shed smaller players like they were mosquitoes. This is the android upgrade of what we saw in episode 5 from Magic Johnson, out sprinting everyone and changing directions at high speeds while completely under control. Size and speed are one thing, but LeBron's ability to decelerate, remain controlled, and flow into a move supercharged his fast break scoring. He could use those same half-court tools, change of tempo, varied jumping angles, and so on, only with a head of steam against backpedaling defenses. Even with big men in the paint, LeBron could shift on the fly. He's angling toward the middle here, but then slides left for 2. And there is a cerebral component to many of these. He throws a head fake to freeze a defender, and he's unstoppable with all that space to attack. Bron did this stuff to great defenders too. Andre Iguodala's hips are facing left here, so LeBron Andre gives him an inside-out spin cycle. Time the whole thing is a blur. Throws. It's basically impossible to James in transition alongside him or recover because of his width direction. Here is basically even with, but since he's so much smaller, actually poster decoration. In short, was the most devastating score the league had ever. And 2012 is the best 2-year synergies database. Insane 1 point for possession in transition for 4 opportunities again. Numbers he nearly replicated in the postseason. The totality of LeBron, one of the scorers ever. His playoff runs in Miami incredibly well against anybody in league history when adjusting for opponent. Another LeBron scoring during was the development of his pump. These plays, as deadly as his transition or half-court drives, getting some back to the basket, kept defenses on and gave him another arrow in her. He often mid-post and went to work, backing down smaller wing, and with his size great balance, he could 2 shots down low, that spin move that he ways or nasty working down smaller wing, and with his size and balance, he could shots down low, spin move that he loved, a Tim Duncan-esque hand to protect the ball. Kawhi Leonard. I often think of as having pretty fadeaway go-to moves, LeBron's physical dominantastic feel, hyper-efficient shot, and he balanced those shots with outside game. This was a shift from where he was near the bottom side shooting percentages. In Miami, he jumped average on his long range. Behind smoother shooting motion, was more patient getting in, and as a result, 42% of his long Miami, ace in the 39% he made his final 2 years in. He also 3 percentage points down after making one of his threes in 2011. So, LeBron got rounded scoring game, only half of his become talents to another.
Big man, I can't be what's going through his mind.
Baby, just let me know what's good.
Detroit training. You think Michael train? No. I don't. Stop looking at my lemonade.
Because LeBron would have driving to the hoop, his would counter paint, forcing his jumper. Did this to some degree 11 finals, reacting to him as loading up on Tyson James instead of worrying, and so being for him in the paint. When the Mavericks driving lanes like this, beating, scoring drops Dallas years later, his team and narrow. Spurs lane, LeBron's any other self and fed improved assault games, a more made not but added a from up on any paddling him down, double to easy bronze off locking out with LeBron's really a half-teeters off if he didn't strength where it defense incredible to beat James get past and made to sit in his side counter defendation he's here the defend and it's in transit defendy on that one time have to that in the wrong Chalmers pressure and come right in where he could spread shooter third down his final throwing him was and unfortunate best play they which was to James coming off history himself ways was Fron finisher lane had an entire pick and roll in a Franz he could wade with but were really unpossession standing a good percentage sessions were Miami's LeBron Keys and a decision actually out his over 40 CD7 touch better 9-win play. The was Wayne offense was and playoffs. LeBron's a testament playmaker. May heal with the right around him, but off his decision instance take where's the you found it hindsight for good him snap alongside and I defended fire or slides. Congrats because the by that pass season this corner slide if he feels leaning toward to the other practice of these flexes when under the rope takes aim as the cut late great quick flash and touch little in a up off scully all the ball usually this takes tracking one move to it. This rectangle with throwing all awareness knows move ran hands that second.
All eyes on me.